Hello and welcome back to the channel. In the last video, we explored some burger recipes, which I had a blast with. So trying to stay on the topic of easy to make comfort foods at home, I'll be showing you a delicious, easy to make pasta recipe. Me and my partner make this pretty much every other week. It's simple, it takes around 20 minutes to put together, and it's got all the good flavors you're looking for to scratch that comfort food itch. It must be said though, this is not a traditional carbonara. Google says that the carbonara is the classic Italian pasta dish made with pasta, eggs, pecorino romano cheese, guanciale, which is cured pork cheek, and black pepper. That's it. I can say the recipe that I'm going to show you is heavily inspired by the carbonara, but it's a little bit more indulgent, which is sort of the idea here. Here's everything you'll need to make your creamy pasta. 1 courgette. This adds a crunchy texture as well as some freshness from the other quite heavy ingredients. The courgette here is more of a background character. Next, we have mushrooms, and you want to use a lot of them because, as you know, when you cook mushrooms, they shrink a lot. Next, we have the garlic. I'm using the whole garlic clove. We also need pancetta, which is one of the key ingredients of this dish. Make sure you get it smoked, otherwise you'll be missing out on some really good flavors. And Parmigiano Reggiano. This, for me, is the holy grail of cheese. And finally, the beating heart of this dish, the crème fraîche. I usually go for a reduced fat version, just to help me sleep at night. We also want a shed load of black pepper and just a little bit of salt. And finally, of course, we need pasta. In this case, I'm using spaghetti, but I'm sure any other pasta will fit well with this dish. Now over to preparation. First thing I'm going to do is get the pasta boiling. I always add some salt and olive oil just for some flavour and to avoid the pasta sticking. Next, I'm going to chop the garlic with a slightly barbaric method by chopping off each ends of the garlic, then pushing out each clove like so. This seems to work with me, but if there's an easier way, please do let me know. And then the mushrooms, I'm going to chop into thick slices. I'm going to use the whole batch of mushrooms just to compensate for the shrinkage. For the courgette, I'm going to slice once down the middle and then cut into even chunky half slices. The chunkier the better, just so that it maintains that crunch. Then lastly, we have the cheese. I usually go for the medium setting, and you basically want to unleash hell. The more cheese, the better. And now, once the preparation is done and the pasta's boiling, we can start cooking. Now, I Googled a method for the pancetta, and unlike the burgers where we wanted to preheat the pan, for the pancetta, we're gonna allow it to heat up from cold in the pan. This apparently helps render out some of that fat. The method also says that you don't need any olive oil or cooking oils, but I'm gonna add a little bit of butter just for flavor, and my frying pans are useless. Once that's been cooking for about a minute, we can add the garlic, stir it in, and then let that cook until the pancetta is golden brown. You should start smelling the smokiness of the pancetta. And now we can add the courgettes. Once they start to soften, we can add the mushrooms. I let that simmer a few more minutes, and then we can add the salt and pepper. Now add the crème fraîche. I allow that to simmer a little while longer, just let the sauce get nice and thick. Now we can lower the heat and stir in the Parmigiano Reggiano. I'm going to dump the whole lot in and give it a stir. Once you're happy that the cheese has melted and it's mixed in thoroughly, we can start to add the pasta to the sauce. I do this gradually in bits, just so I keep a good pasta to sauce ratio. I'm going to keep on mixing that in on a low heat. This actually allows the sauce to cook into the pasta. Now I'm going to load the pasta into a bowl, garnish with a sprinkle of parsley. A couple of slices of garlic bread also pair very well with this. This also gave me the idea to maybe one day in future attempt a homemade garlic bread. And there we go, our deliciously rich and savoury pasta dish is ready. Rich and creamy. First, the smokiness of the pancetta hits you, then the garlic and mushrooms earthiness just brings everything together. You also get the crunchiness of the courgettes adding some freshness. This is honestly one of my favorite weekday meals and it's so easy to make. And as always, I had a blast making this video and I hope you find the time to try this recipe for yourself. Thank you for watching.